Would you like to become super duper insanely cracked Mongol classic and oh my god NRG shit on blah, 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 at Fortnite? Well, today I'm going to show you exactly how to do that with a few simple settings. So if you go over here to the three little lines button, you just click that, give it a nice little caress over the settings like so, and you're brought over to the video settings. Now this will be different on console. I mean, I don't really know why you're playing Fortnite on a console. I mean, you know, it's a console. Right, anyway, moving on. So if you're a big if you're a big boy and you want to do 240 frames, obviously, but that's not what we're into, right? So let's talk about the graphics, which is the right. So this stuff is all nonsense. Okay, you don't need any of that stuff. The colorblind modes, right? So there are different colorblind modes that people like to use. Usually these two. I'm not even going to pronounce them, and it makes it a lot easier to see llamas, especially this one right here. You whack it on 10, it's pretty easy to see llamas. Doesn't really help with seeing in the storm anymore as they patched that, but you know, you can do it if you want. It helps slightly, but there's no point. It's only really for spawning llamas. But me personally, I keep it on normal. Now, quality settings. Alright, this is your main central hub for everything. So, 3D resolution, basically, if you turn that all the way down like this, it's going to reduce the amount of pixels significantly. So, if you're playing on a stretch resolution, you may want to just set the pixels to that. So, it's reducing the amount of work that it has to do. But, you know, you want a nice, crisp, clean game. But this is where the interesting stuff happens, alright? View distance. View distance does not affect it doesn't actually do that. A lot of people think it is. It is just the objects. So, you can put this all the way down to near, right? And you will still see players at the same distance you would if it was on Epic. It only reduces the objects that you see, so you may not be able to see a certain structure from a distance, but you still be able to see the player. So if your PC is a bit on the low end, just whack that down right at the bottom, or if you just want to maximize your frames, just whack it down right. All of these settings can go down low, but me personally, I like to have it on medium. Everything at shadows, you do not want shadows on. Anti-aliasing, that's just the edges on things. If you want them to be nice and clean, then you want to do that. You will whack that bad boy on and call it a day. But me personally, you want maximum frames, so I just turn it all off. However, in some cases, your PC may be better having these settings up a little bit and may actually cause you to get more frames. That's because your PC may be actually working more to get to its full potential. I know that happened with my last PC. But, you know, fiddle around with it, see what happens. For me personally, is what I like to use. So if we go down to the advanced options, you do not want VSync on. Oh my god, if you put motion blur on, you are messed up. Okay, you don't want motion blur. Alright, show FPS, personal preference, but you probably want it on. Your direct version, right? It's either DirectX 12 or no, right, or 11. Again, you may find it works better on the new version or the old version, but see for yourself. Most people have it on 12 though. So probably put it on 12 because that's the newer version. It will probably be a lot better. Allow multi-thread rendering. I messed that up completely, but we'll just ignore that. We'll just ignore that. Basically, if your CPU has more than one, if it has more than one cores or threads, you will want that on, because basically, if you've got a dual core or something like that, that ancient crap, probably want it off. But for me, I've got 8 cores and 16 threads. There we go. Oh, look at that memory go. And basically, it will. If it's basically right, listen up. If you put that down to if you don't have it on, you just whack it off. I'll be like, no, that will only be using one of the cores. Basically, it'll only be using one. So you want that on. You want it to be spread across all of them. It makes the load go across much more easier. And it's just, I mean, why would you? I mean, moving on to the game, right? Movement. You want toggle sprint off. You don't want that on. Sprint by default. You want that on. Sprint couch as road off. No one wants that on. Auto open doors. Now you can either have that on or off, but having auto open doors on, I find, is a lot more easier. However, some people don't like that. But if you're trying to camp, you probably don't want it on. But having automatically open doors on I found it to be extremely helpful. instead of having to, you know, do that, press that button, or just do that extra step. You know, having doors auto open is so much nicer. But you may find that you don't want it on, so you just do what you wanna. Combat, this stuff here. The only really good thing you want here is the auto sort consumables to the right, because most people have their consumables on the right. But you know, if you're one of those weirdos that don't, then that's completely fine. Moving on to building, all of these on. Turbo building. If you do not have turbo building on, I don't know why you're still playing Fortnite at this point, so just go. Reset building choice. You want that on, obviously, because when you're making edits, or if you accidentally do something like that, you know, mess up, it will automatically reset it to just a flat wall or etc. Confirm edit on release. Now, you want this on. You want this on. You 100% want this on. If you don't have this on again, you're just... What are you doing? You want this on. This is one of the best settings ever. Alright? Basically, it reduces your keys that you have to tap. And technically, it's slightly slower having it on like this. But it's... You don't notice it. It's ridiculously small how slow it makes it. So you want this on. Basically, you only have to tap E once, and then once you let go of left click, it will automatically do the edit. It's why would you not want it on? I mean, I can't see any downsides to that. Can you? No, exactly. Right, move on. Right, replays all off. We want them all off. If you want your frames up, all off. Don't even all off. Extra game controls, really. I didn't really go over this because it's all sort of personal preference, really. Moving on, this is just my sensitivity, nothing too fancy, you know. Controller, again, nothing too fancy. Audio, nothing too fancy. Controls, right, controls. These are one of the most optimal binds you can have, so I probably will briefly go over it, as these are very good binds, and pretty much a lot of the pro players do use similar binds to this, or a configuration of this, so I'll just quickly go through this. A lot of this stuff is just like stuff that's not in the game, which is... I don't see why this all got it. It's really annoying. And that's pretty much it for that. And without that... Oh, no, don't save. No! What are you doing, mate? And now we're all good. Right. And basically, that is it. Although, if you are still here, there is one more thing you can do to really boost your FPS. And this is really the secret to how you get 240 FPS. So, get your little cursor. Click on the old item shop. Now, you want to go down to Sport Creator, and if you whack in code WYZY, whatever you want to call it, I don't really care, as long as you use it, you know, I'm taking your money at the end of the day, I don't really care. And you want to accept that, and then you want to find the most expensive thing you can find. So for me, that is this copyright thing from, what's it called, that game that no one actually plays, Overwatch, that's the one, and you want to buy that. I'm too poor to actually buy that, because I've actually spent all my V-Bucks on the Battle Pass because I'm a cool kid. So should you. I mean, obviously you would be if you just bought